What's up, Big League? What a beautiful Wednesday morning, especially because we're going to Hooters, sponsored by Emil, because he lost this week and also lost a league fee. What a hell of a match. Actually, not really. I whooped his ass. And we're going to start it off, a little breakdown of how that happened and came to be. So, first off, obviously, them boys is facing quarterback trouble. Had to plug in a Josh Allen or a Case Keenum. Luckily, he didn't play a Case Keenum, even though it wouldn't have mattered. But Josh Allen got me 8 points, and then the dirty Patriots took him out. Todd Gurley was in Todd Gurley form. 2 rushing touchdowns, 54 reception yards, 16 rush yards, 26 fantasy points. And the guy that I got hit on all week, Eckler this. Oh, Eckler's a rat backup. Guess what, motherfuckers? He got 29 points. And yeah, I know Melvin didn't play. His production's still going to be there. It will be cut back, but he's going to get his. Odell Beckham, probably the quietest game he's going to have all year. Baltimore shut his ass down. Jarvis Landry's hurt now with a little concussion. It's going to be the Odell show Monday night. Want to mark my words. Cooper Kupp. I mean, can I say anything more about this young man? Cooper Kupp is my bread and butter when it comes to receivers. Tyler Eifert had to plug and play him. Sneef dropped him because he caught him smoking cigarettes in the shower. Understandable. But when we picked him up, we had a long talk with him. Said, look, man, can't be doing this shit. So let's focus on football. He had a drop touchdown pass right in the first quarter of the game last night, but it's okay. He got me a solid 4 points, which basically matched his receiver, Tyler Boyd, with 6 points, which is okay. Sly guy. I got to roll with my Carolina kicker. Sly till I die, you know what I mean? He got me 13 points. Well done. Packers defense. Like I said, Emil, it was going to set you up for a trap. Packers D got me -1 at the beginning of the week. Let's talk about what Emil's team did. Deshaun Watson, what a turd. 11 points. I guess you can't get it to your boy DeAndre Hopkins or anything, but whatever. Kerryon Johnson had a good game. 125 rush yards, 32 reception yards, 15 points. Sony Michel continues to stink it up. Tyler Boyd, mediocre. Calvin Ridley, mediocre. Andrews, for your tight end, did solid, 13 points. Little bum-ass running back for Tampa Bay, Jones, 15 points. Yeah, that was some garbage-ass points. Bucker with 10, and Cowboys defense with 11 against the Saints. Final score ending at 125-95. Them boys move on to be 3-1, and the villain will go on to be 1-3. Next matchup, comeback kid of the year versus Kareem Alou, and what a hell of a matchup this was. Comeback kid of the year looked like he was counted out until last night when James Conner decided to do some James Conner shit. Let's talk about it. Minshew, one of my favorite quarterbacks right now in the NFL. Dude's probably my hero. If he had a poster, I'd get it. That mustache is beautiful. All he needs is a mullet to go along with it. Then you got James Conner with a 26.5 point game. Very, very nice. Chris Carson, 18 points. Well done. Adam Thielen, only 2 points. But we all know what's going on in Minnesota. A little quarterback issue. And he's hearing it from his receivers as well. Mari Cooper, 9 points. Saints kept him down. Evan Ingram, 9 points. Not bad for a tight end play. And the pickup of the week was Galman, and he definitely produced 27 fantasy points. Matt Bryan with 4. Seahawks with a good 16 with a score of 133. Very good show out. But it just wasn't good enough. The prior champ and the current champ, cream of Lou. Jared Goff, 24 points, obviously playing from behind. He had 517 pass yards, 2 passing touchdowns, but 3 interceptions and 1 fumble. But he got it done. Phillip Lindsay, 7 points. The Chubb Show, running back of the week, 39 fantasy points with 165 rush yards, 3 rushing touchdowns, and 18 reception yards. Then we're going to move on to Will Fuller, which he played instead of Jarvis Landry. I feel partly responsible for that because I told him Will Fuller. But Jarvis Landry had an awesome day. Will Fuller did not with 5 points. Cortland Sutton, I tell you, I've been high on this dude for a long time. People mess with me about that as well. Cortland Sutton with 24 fantasy points, and I think it's only going to get better for that young man. Waller, 12 points. Good for a tight end, but for him, should have been better. Derrick Henry, 11 points. I think I'm still high on. I love Derrick Henry, but it's Tennessee. Then you got Tucker with 6 and Chargers defense with 11. Final score ending at 133 for the comeback kid and 141 for the Kareem Alou. Kareem Alou will get his first win to 1-3, and Buffkin will be 500 at 2-2. Pick it up, Buffkin. Next match. Lordy. Sneef took a shit this week after having a huge week against me last week with 89 total fantasy points. Unbeatables needed this win bad at 122 fantasy points. Goes to 2-2. Corey goes to 3-1. Let's start it off. Lindbergh had Tom Brady, 3 fantasy points. He ain't going to do that every week. It was just the Bills. They were hungry. Jordan Howard, 32 points. Well done. Fournette, probably the best fantasy game he had in the NFL his whole career. 225 rush yards. Yeah, don't expect that every week. Alshon Jeffrey, 12 points. Philip Dorsett, 3 points. Disley, 18 points. A good tight end play. Sammy Watkins, still a bust from that first week boom, 6 points. Chris Boswell, 10. And the Rams D will give you 6. Now let's go ahead and talk about Schneef, who last week had over 174 points, I think. Now he has 89 this week. Russell Wilson went at 15 points. Alvin Kamara, 11.9. Didn't do too well against the Cowboys, but they got it done. They got us the W. Then you got D. Williams for the KC, which is a nice plug and play while the other Williams is out, which got him 18.6. Then you got Keenan Allen with 9 points. Galladay, huge game, 23 points. Vernon Davis, 1.5. I don't really like Vernon. Larry Fitzgerald, 9 points. Dan Bailey with 0 points, and Ravens with -1 point. Maybe better luck next time there, Schneef, but unbeatables, congratulations, you're 2-2. Schneef's 3-1. Moving on, Fireballers versus the Lone Ranger. Big Mike, it looks like you've been going through some tough times lately. I know you just made a trade. Hopefully that's in your favor. Then you got Fireballers, who look like to be making a comeback from his first 2 tremendous losses in the very beginning of the season, because you did score well. But you scored a respectable 113 versus Fireballers, 85 points. Big Mike, we may need to have a little conversation there in the locker room with your players. Let's start it off with Freeman side. Lamar Jackson, 27 points. Good show. Rex Burkhead was real quiet with 1 point. Ezekiel Elliott, 16 points against the Saints. Mike Evans, 18.9 versus the Rams. Brandon Cooks, 13 versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Jack Doyle, 12 points. Chark, who is consistently getting a touchdown in Jacksonville. Good receiver, 8 points. Greg Zuerlein, 13, the leg. Vikings D with a whopping 2 points. Then you're going to go with Dak Prescott with the Lone Ranger. The Saints shut that motherfucker down. He's got 7 points. Then Devontae Freeman doing a little better with 18 points. Then you got Marlon Mack. He was very quiet, 3 points. Julio Jones, 9 points. Michael Thomas, 18.5. MT. Then you got Atkins as your tight end for Houston, 5 points. Brown, 6 points. Lambeau, 15. And the Jags with a 2. Final score at 113-85. Fireballers continues to win. Moving on to the creamy beige and pussy Medek Machette. Charlie's team took a big old dump this week compared to what he's been doing with his average 150 points. Then you got pussy Medek Machette with 139 points. A good showing from his team. And let's talk about it. So, Patrick Mahomes, is an indoor stadium his kryptonite? I don't know. So far, it's showing that with only 18 points. That's very, very low for that young man. Then you got Mark Ingram with 8 points, Joe Mixon with 10, DeAndre Hopkins with 7, Tyler Lockett with 9, Travis Kelce with a 15, Josh Gordon with 7, Will Lutz with 14, Patriots defense with 24. So actually, to be honest with you, Chuck, your 113's fake. Your team took a shit because your defense got 24 points and your kicker got 14 points. That's 38 of those 113 right there from kicker and defense. So your team played like shit. Moving on to pussy Medek Machette. Then you got Daniel Jones with a 13 points. Much less than what his first showing was last week. McCaffrey, no surprise here, 34 fantasy points. Aaron Jones with 17 points, who just got traded off to Big Mike. Marvin Jones as well going to Big Mike for 10 points. Juju with 4 points. Austin Hooper with 22 points. He's probably one of the best tight ends right now. He's playing awesome. Sterling Shepard, 16 points. Gostkowski, 3 points. And the Bears defense with no surprise, 17 points. Jeremy goes on to be 4-0, and Charlie 3-1. And the last matchup of Week 4 was Bearded Wonder, the biggest dumpster fire this league has ever seen, versus Brady Bunch, who needed a must-win, and his team went absolutely apeshit. Let's talk about it. Bearded Wonder with a total of 92 poo points. Carson Wentz, 22 points. Dalvin Cook, 19 points. Then you start to get to the turds. Montgomery, 9. Humphreys, 3. Kirk, 8. Ertz, 13. Hardman, 0.9. Maher, the kicker, 4. Saints, 11. Then you got Brady Bunch, who needed the win. Phillip Rivers, 22. David Johnson, 21. What a stud. David Johnson is a good fantasy player. Then you got Josh Jacobs, 12 points. Edelman with 7. Devontae Adams finally with his boom game on Thursday night, 28 points with 180 reception yards. Then you got Greg Olsen, who was pretty quiet from his last week's game, 2 points. Biggest play for Luke was Godwin, 41 fantasy points, 172 reception yards, 2 receptions for 2 touchdowns. Then you got Gonzalez for 2 points and the Steelers defense with a whopping 19. Final score 92 to 156. Frankie goes on to be 1-3 in the dumpster, and Luke will gain to 1-3. Congratulations. Now, let's talk about week 5 and what we got upcoming. We got some big matchups here. Some matchups people do not want to have. So, it's starting on the Bearded Wonder versus the Unbeatables. Frankie, you just can't. I mean, to be honest with you, you can be playing anybody, and I'm going to say, you're going to have some bad luck. Lindbergh, this is a big win for you being 2-2. This is the time to get above 500. Frank, it's even bigger for you being that you're 1-3 and at the bottom of the food chain. Let's start it off. Yeah, Carson Wentz playing the Jets. I hate Philly players all around, even Carson Wentz. So I'm not really too big of a fan on that. Dalvin Cook versus the Giants. That is going to be an outstanding performance from Cook. He might get 30 points that game. Then you got Montgomery at Oakland. He might show, might not. Who knows? It's Chicago. Their offense hasn't really been that hot. Allen Robinson, it all depends on Trubisky, but he's been hurt. So you got your boy, Chase Daniels, who looked very, very good. So they may want to stick with him. Stephon Diggs. I mean, I got to give it to you. At some point, he's got to have a game, right? But he's been poo-poo. Zach Ertz, he's going to get his. And you got Carson Wentz, probably going to connect on one. And you got Hardman up in versus Indy for KC. It all depends if Patrick Mahomes likes a little Hardman that day. We'll see. Throws it all over the place. Then you got your kicker and the Saints. Okay. Moving on. Unbeatables. Tom Brady coming off one of the worst showings ever in his career. Tom Brady's playing at Washington. Projected 20 points. I think Brady's going to have a huge bounce-back game, especially after the poor performance last week from the Patriots. Then you got Howard at the Jets. Like I said, I don't like Philly players, so we'll see. Fournette had a huge game last week, going to Carolina. Let's see if he can sustain that and make a name for himself once more. Alshon Jeffrey playing the Jets. I like Alshon. That's probably the only player I like in Philly. Then you got Dorsett. It all depends if Brady likes him some Dorsett that day. It all depends. Disley, tight end for the Seattle. He's been doing well. He's playing L.A. Thursday night. I like it. Sammy Watkins, don't like to play. Sammy just ain't, he had that one game. That's how I see it. Then you got Pitt's kicker, Rams defense. It's whatever. I'm going to go with the Unbeatables winning this week. Nothing personal, Frank. I think you're going to go 1-4, and Lindbergh's going to go above 500 to 3-2. Moving on to the next matchup. Them boys versus me pussy, me Dak, me shat. The 4-0 team versus the 3-1 team that's got 3 graves ready to be matched with yours, my friend. I got plenty of room. So let's see what this matchup looks like. So point-wise and projections, he's obviously projected to whoop my ass with the player power he has. But them boys know how to find a way to win. Let's start it off. So quarterback right now is in the air. Don't have an official starter yet. We have not named a starter. Probably find out tomorrow. Todd Gurley playing at Seattle Thursday night. I think they're going to use him a lot. I think the loss for the Rams was a big eye opener, and I think Gurley's going to get his good share. Austin Eckler playing in Denver once again with a Melvin Gordon. I think they're still going to ease him into the offense, but he will play. Odell Beckham Monday night coming off of a poor performance. Hey, Odell Beckham coming off of a poor performance, but I think he's going to do very well at San Francisco Monday night, especially with Jarvis Landry. Excuse me. Sorry about that. So, back to what I was saying. I think Odell's going to have a bounce-back game, and he's going to do very well Monday night. I'm looking forward to it. Then, I got my dog, Cooper Kupp, with Gurley, Thursday night. I think both of them will put up equivalent over 40 points easy. Hopefully 60. We'll see. Tyler Eifert, he got his targets. I kind of liked it. He didn't do much with it, but he's playing Arizona. We'll see. James White, playing at Washington. I think it's going to be a very good game for him, too. He's going to get a lot of looks from Brady. The sly guy, Jaguars. Jaguars are going to hold that offense a lot, hopefully in the red zone, so I can get mine. And Packers defense. Let's talk about Jeremy's team. Kyle Murray, what a turd. Playing at Cincinnati. Probably have a good game. Cincinnati's in shambles. Melvin Gordon, nobody really knows what he's going to do or what his his share of the game is going to be. McCaffrey, Jaguars. Probably the best defense I would want for McCaffrey to play against. So, besides the Bears. So I'm a little optimistic on that, but McCaffrey's going to get his. Julio Jones. Julio Jones is a hit or miss. He's been quiet. Sometimes he has big games. Julio Jones playing at Houston. He'll get his. Juju versus Baltimore. I think Juju gets shut down by Baltimore, especially it's a division game. Austin Hooper at Houston. I hope they keep him down because Austin Hooper's been doing a lot of work. Then you got McLaren in Washington. I mean, good luck, I guess. And then Gostkowski and the Bears defense at Oakland. So, this week I'm not going to give a winner because, to be honest with you, this is the matchup, the biggest challenge to my team for sure. Good luck to you. I got a whole dugout for you already, though. Reaper's coming. Next match is going to be Fireballers versus the Comeback Kid of the Year. Let's start it off with the Fireballers, who are red hot. You got Lamar Jackson, projected 22 points at Pitt, divisional game. Steelers defense definitely looked good last week, but they played the Bengals. Rex Burkhead, very quiet game. Let's see if he can get a little more steam versus Washington. Ezekiel Elliott playing Green Bay. Green Bay's defense has been showing pretty good this year, besides last Thursday night. But I think they do better. But it's still Zeke. Zeke's going to get his. T.Y. Hilton coming off a quad injury. Let's see how much action he gets. Mike Evans playing in New Orleans. Hopefully we shut him down, but Mike's been red hot right now, so we'll see a little bit from him. And you got little Kittles and Bits playing Cleveland, coming off of a bye week, so they should be fresh. Brandon Cooks, hit or miss, playing at Seattle, but I think Cooks is going to get his as well. Then you got the leg and Vikings defense versus the Giants. So then we're going to move on to Comeback Kid of the Year. He's got Minshew, the quarterback for the Jaguars, who is the poster boy of the NFL right now. Then you got James Conner, who had an awesome showing last night, but he's playing Baltimore. We'll see how that goes. Chris Carson playing LA Thursday night. Chris Carson might get 2 touchdowns. Adam Thielen, we'll see. Amari Cooper versus Green Bay. We'll see. Defense been playing well, but I think Dallas is going to try to bounce back at least somewhat. But that was a devastating loss for them and an awesome win for us. Then you got Evan Ingram playing Minnesota. We'll see how that goes. Wayne Gallman had an awesome game. Could he sustain it? We'll find out versus Minnesota. And you got Bryant and the Seahawks. I'm going to have to go with Freeman on this one. I think Ryan's going to go 3-2 and break the barrier of 500. And Buffkin, you're going to go 2-3. Moving on to the Lone Ranger versus Brady Bunch. Both in desperate need of a win. Both 1-3 teams. Let's talk about the Lone Ranger for a minute. He's starting Matt Ryan at Houston. I kind of like it. And especially, you got Devontae Freeman. So you can either run it, pass it, you still get points for it. And you got Devontae Freeman. I think he's getting better. His season's getting better as time goes by. Now you got Aaron Jones. Really like that. Playing at Dallas. Robert Woods at Seattle. That dude could be a big boom player. Michael Thomas, he's going to get his in Tampa. Then you got Atkins as your tight end, whatever. Marlon Mack, he needs to do better. He's playing at KC. We'll see. Then you got Lambeau at Carolina and Jaguars at Carolina. Let's talk about Brady Bunch here. Brady Bunch is starting Aaron Rodgers this week at Dallas. Should do well. David Johnson, outstanding running back. He's playing at Cincinnati. Should go apeshit. Cincinnati's garbage. Josh Jacobs playing Chicago. That's a tough play. You almost think about benching players against Chicago that you shouldn't even bench, but we'll see. Maybe we'll talk about that at lunch. Edelman playing at Washington. Definitely going to get his. Godwin, could he have the same performance as last week? We'll find out, but he's playing in New Orleans. Should shut him down. Greg Olsen versus Jaguars. Devontae Adams versus Dallas, and he's got Aaron Rodgers in there for the play. Good connection. Gonzalez at Cincy as a kicker, and Steelers defense versus division rival, Baltimore. Sorry, Big Mike. I'm going to take my dog Luke here. He's going to go to 2-3, and you will go to 1-4. Got 2 more matchups here. Besides my own, this is my most favorite matchup is the villain playing Creamy Beige. Creamy Beige's team is pissed off, okay? And they were averaging 150 points a week. If it wasn't for the kicker and defense, they would be less than 100 points this week. Creamy Beige is going to wipe the floor with the villain, okay? The villain's 1-3, desperate need of a win. He already lost the league fee. He's 6 feet under. He's buying me lunch. He's a pussy, you know? It all adds up. Charlie's 3-1. Needs a good bounce back week, and this is the matchup he wants. So let's start off with the villain. You got Deshaun Watson playing Atlanta, projected 23 points. I think he's going to do better this week versus Atlanta. Le'Veon Bell, he's back fresh, playing Philly. I like it. Then you got the stupid Tampa running back Jones at New Orleans. He ain't going to do crap. Tyler Boyd playing Arizona. We'll see. Calvin Ridley at Houston. You know, it all depends if Julio is just a Julio show or not. But Calvin can get some big plays. And you got Andrews, who's been performing, playing at Pitt division game. We'll see. Sony Michel's been shit in the bed all year, and I think he's going to continue to do that. That's a poo-poo flex at Washington. Then you got Bucker and Indy, Cowboys versus Green Bay. Let's talk about Creamy Beige. Patrick Mahomes coming off of a terrible game in the indoor stadium. Now he's playing Indy, and he's projected 24 points. I think he exceeds that and gets over 30. Mark Ingram versus Pitt. Pittsburgh defense looked good, so I don't expect a huge game out of him. Joe Mixon, he's a turd. DeAndre Hopkins, I think he's going to have a bounce-back week. But Emil's got the quarterback. Then you got Tyler Lockett. Tyler Lockett should be a good play this Thursday night. He's going to get a few deep balls for sure. Then you got Travis Kelce, and you got Patrick Mahomes. They might connect twice in Indy. Josh Gordon at Washington should have a good game. Will Lutz at Tampa, and Patriots at Washington. Emil, you already know what the deal is. Creamy Beige is going to wipe the floor with you. You're going to go to 1-4, and Creamy's going to go to 4-1. And the last matchup is between Schneef, who's coming off of a terrible week, versus Cream of Lou, the current champion, who just got a big win and almost had to worry about it last night with James Conner. Let's break it down. You got Russell Wilson versus LA. I like it Thursday night. He might get over 30 fantasy points. It's going to be a shootout, Dan. Alvin Kamara versus Tampa. I like it. It's going to be a big play. Then you got Williams coming back, possibly, or you may have to play the other Williams for KC running back. Either way, it's on a high-power offense. It's a good play. Emmanuel Sanders playing at the Chargers. I like it. Emmanuel's been getting his. Keenan Allen had a quiet week. Should be a lot better versus Denver. Then you got Howard at New Orleans. It's a big-ass tight end, but I don't really like him. Fitzgerald, the vet, should do well at Cincy for sure. Bailey, and then Ravens D at Pitt. You got a lot of good matchups this week, Schneef. Let's talk about the Cream of Blue. Jared Goff, I think he's going to have an over 30-point game as well with Russell Wilson. So they're going to pretty much match each other, my guess, playing at Seattle. Phillip Lindsay, not really a big fan, playing at the Chargers. Nick Chubb, could he have an awesome game against San Francisco? San Francisco's defense is not that bad, but they're playing Monday night, so we're going to have to wait to find out. Will Fuller's in versus Atlanta. I think your boy's going to have to spread the ball a little more, so Fuller might get his. Cortland Sutton, I think he's going to do outstanding versus the Chargers. He's a dog. Waller versus Chicago. They may need to rely on a lot of little tight end plays in the middle, so he might be a good play, but Chicago is just a dirty place. Derrick Henry versus Buffalo. I like it, actually. Buffalo's coming off of a bad loss. Justin Tucker versus Pitt and Chargers defense at Denver. I'm going to have to go with Schneef here. He's going to go 4-1, and the champion is going to go 1-4. There you go, gentlemen. That's it. Good luck to you. See you at Hooters.